Good day, everyone. Hope you are having a great week so far. My name is Kiara, and it's with great pleasure that I welcome you all to episode 15 of ITU's webinar series on digital transformation for cities and communities. So today's webinar is dedicated to the theme of smart city platforms for an integrated management in smart sustainable cities. So I do see a lot of participants connected today, so I look forward to your active participation during the Q&A session. So we have an excellent list of panelists for today's session. And we also have in our midst Dr. Bilal Jamusi. So without further delay, I would like to give the floor to Dr. Bilal Jamusi, Chief of the Study Groups Department of the Standardization Bureau at the ITU, to give us his opening remarks.
Thank you very much, Kiara. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure to welcome you to episode 15 of the ITU Digital Transformation for Cities and Communities webinar series. In today's webinar, we will look at the role that smart city platforms can play in supporting the integration of digital services and devices in the domain of smart and sustainable cities. Digital transformation is percolating into nearly all facets of our daily lives. Computers, smartphones, the internet are all an integral part of daily life. Smart technologies can be used to directly affect the experience of city residents. From smartphones to smart homes, the transition to smart cities is the vision for the future. For the realization of this vision, emerging technologies are being embraced across sectors in the urban domain. We have seen the importance of digital technologies in dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic for contact tracing, as well as conducting vaccination drives. Additionally, every sector, including transport, manufacturing, health, education, among others, is looking to reinvent themselves through digital transformation to become more sustainable and resilient. Today, city leaders are leaving the sandbox and going all in with smart technologies that deliver essential services to residents in a meaningful way. In this context, smart city platforms have an important role to play when it comes to supporting the integration of digital technologies. Smart city platforms are the digital architecture that offers the integrated functionality to coordinate data and facilitate interoperability among verticals. They are crucial for solving the challenges posed by fragmented operations and enabling seamless communication among different ICT systems and delivering the required services to the urban residents. ITU Study Group 20 on the Internet of Things and Smart Cities and Communities has already developed a series of technical standards that support cities to implement smart city platforms. These include setting the requirements for an interoperable smart city platform, providing a reference framework for an effective smart city platform, and more. ITU has been actively working directly with cities and ICT experts to highlight their experiences in implementing smart city platforms under the framework of the UN-led initiative, United for Smart Sustainable Cities, known as U4SSC, supported by 17 United Nations agencies and programs. The work of U4SSC culminated in the publication of the Digital Solutions for Integrated City Management and Use Cases, and the Compendium of survey results on integrated digital solutions for smart city or for city platforms around the world. I'm very excited that today we will have the opportunity to showcase these deliverables, which we have developed together with our sister UN agencies. Today, we have in our midst speakers who were directly involved in the development of these deliverables, who will share their insights and answer your questions on the evolving topic of smart city platforms. I would like to take this moment to thank you all for being with us here today. This ITU webinar series started in September last year, and it has continued to be a remarkable success thanks to all of your support and interest in the sphere of smart city and sustainable cities. I wish you a fruitful and productive webinar. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jamusi. So up next, colleagues, before I give the floor to our moderator today, I would like to provide some information on how the session will run. So for those who have been following our webinar series, I know you are quite familiar with our house rules, but for those who are new to our episodes, kindly note that this webinar is being recorded. So the recording and also the presentations will be made available on the event webpage. Closed captioning is also available, so you could enable it by clicking on the closed captioning icon. And lastly, questions will be taken during the Q&A session, but please feel free to send your questions via the Q&A box after each intervention. So without further delay, I would like to give the floor and call on Ms. Tanya Marcus, Vice Chairman of the U4SSC, to lead us through this session. Ms. Marcus, the floor is yours.
Thank you for the kind introduction. My name is Tania Marcos. I'm the head of the Spanish Cities Unit at the Spanish Association for Standardization. And I am also the vice chair of U4SSC. And it's my pleasure to be your moderator to this webinar. I'm very excited that today we will have the opportunity to discuss the importance of smart city platforms. We will be presenting the latest U4SSC deliverables that are knowing digital solutions for integrated cities, city management and use cases, and compendium of surveys resulting survey results on integrated digital solutions for city platforms around the world. And also present the work on the ongoing working group 3 and 4 of the U4SSC thematic group on city platforms. They highlight the critical roles of smart city platforms in enabling other digital technologies such as IoTs, big data, and cloud. They also contain a series of case studies on how they are being implemented in cities around the world. Keep in mind that the two deliverables are already available on the U4SSC website, so please feel free to check them out. Today, we will be joined by 3 distinguished speakers. The first one is Mr. Ramon Ferri. He's the head of the Smart City Office of Valencia in Spain. He's responsible for coordinating the digital transformation in the city, and he is the leader of the U4SSC thematic group on city platforms. Ramon holds a degree in computer science and a master's degree in project management from the Polytechnic University of Valencia, and also studied the very exclusive advanced course on local public management for civil servants in Spain. Our second speaker is Mr. Michael Molkin. He is the chair of the Smart City Systems Committee at the International Technical Commission, and also the co-leader of Working Group 3 on the U4SSC thematic group on city platforms. Michael has spent 25 years partnering with cities, rural areas, and industry on how technology can help neighborhoods and cities work better. For the last 8 years, he has been focusing on the development and implementation of smart and sustainable city standards, and has had the opportunity to learn from many experts in different standards development organizations. Our third speaker is Mr. Alberto Bernal. He's the leader of Working Group 4 of the U4SSC thematic group on city platforms, and he leads the cities and territories within the digital division at Ingram Insight, which has the mission to give an intelligent response to the current and future challenges of communities and territories, and a sustainable, green, and just transformation of economic activities related to territories and people. such as tourism, commerce, agriculture, health, and transportation. We will do our best to have a questions and answers section toward the end. So without further delay, please welcome Mr. Ramon Ferri. Ramon, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tania. I'm just going to share my screen. Hello, can you see it? Yeah, okay,
Yes.
thank you very much. I'm going to present the two deliverables concerning this thematic group. The first one is digital solutions for integrated city management and use cases, and the compendium of survey results on integrated digital solutions. So, yeah, try to pass my screen. Now, yeah. Okay, thank you very much. Just let me start just focusing on the objectives of this thematic group, the working groups that we are working on, and the experts. So this work in this thematic group is just focusing on integrated city management from a city perspective, just how urban platforms can help to perform good solutions for citizens and cities. So we are just working on city practices and working on challenges cities we have in order to provide with smart solutions. So we work on challenges, requirements, and then working also on new architecture, integrating new advanced technologies, and also an outlook of deployment of in different environments, in this case on tourism. So in this thematic group has 5 working groups. The first one is just trying to describe the state of the art on digital solutions for integrated city management. And then this is the working group 1 that I'm going to explain you later. So then the other working group is concerning the smart public health, emergency management, and ICT implementations. Both of these deliverables of these working groups are in the website. So then Michael Mulkin is going to provide you with the information concerning this ongoing working group 3 on new architecture for sustainable digital development. And this and Alberto is going to explain you the working group 4 deliverable on smart tourism and path to more secure and resilient destinations. And then just now we are going to start a new working group, just trying to put the final stage of this working thematic group on working group 5 on reference framework for an integrated management of a smart and sustainable city. Yes, so just to try to, we started with the preparing a questionnaire on how cities, starting with city profile, the strategic approach concerning digital transformation, which are the technical architecture of urban platforms, the operational IT solutions for integrated city management, how they governance all these projects and all this IT ecosystem, which are the economic sustainability, how they are going to trying to provide this return of investment concerning the inversions that they are providing concerning this economic sustainability of these solutions. So then we try to identify the key factors and barriers to implementation. And at the end of the day, then we would like to know the stakeholders involvement. So in this annex, you will find illustrated by success story, a document that presents the experience of the cities, communities, and municipalities participating in the United for Smart Sustainable Cities initiative. And then they describe the city strategy, the governance of the smart project, and the principal role of a smart city platform, or maybe a set of components that constitute a smart city platform, and how they are providing solutions to improve the life of their citizens. And then you will find also the main report, that is these digital solutions, these digital solutions for integrated city management and use cases. And then this report provides a global perspective on how city platforms facilitate more efficient and effective control of city infrastructures and city services. Also, how they can improve economic efficiencies, both internally and of the socioeconomic environment, and then how the city platform could provide with the rapid development of new complex services and play a critical role on the overall digital transformation of urban areas. And then just to be more concrete, this deliverable is around 5 main point structures. So then we start with a smart city concept. So defining the smart city typology concerning infrastructures, concerning operational, concerning ecosystem, and also governance of all these solutions. We describe the importance of the sustainable development goals and the use of standards. The second part is concerning the common smart city technology challenges. So concerning the main challenges in order to provide this smart city implementation, and why cities need a smart city platform. So then we try to focus on the deployment, the state of the art of the technological architecture that it's going to be improved in the working group 3, and then how cities are using enabling solutions in this environment. At the end, we have 22 cities with experience. So we have cities from Europe, Asia, Pacific, Middle East, and Africa, and America. And then you will find the solutions in this strategy of city platform. And at the end, we have key takeaways and conclusions concerning geographic distribution, governance, economic sustainability, common barriers, and case access factors. Just to give you 2 main examples of from the part of smart city platform. So then we can see that the smart city platform is the answer in order to have integrated city management. So this requires not only focus on data infrastructure and geospatial infrastructure data, but also it needs to provide interoperability, performance in order to provide with a great number of IoT and information systems. Of course, scalability, robustness, resilience, security, and extensibility. And then you will find also that the main platforms are based on international and national standards. And these standards more or less can be identified some basic layers. So then all of them more or less has a layer to perform acquisition and integration of data from IoT or different information system. You will need a unique repository for data and also the information management. And then you will need the ability to have a more or less a context broker in order to take this information and pass to different urban areas and areas of the city, and obviously data analysis. And at the end, you will need the interoperability in order to integrate with the different external systems that are providing information to the city. And of course, the vertical services of the city. And of course, you have a transversal security and management and support layer. So at the end, city platform serves as a technological base in order to provide a multitude of services concerning providing services for citizens and for public representatives. So then you will have citizenship and situational awareness dashboard for municipal manager. You will have geo portals, you will have city app, and you will have also open data portals and a great number of ecosystem solutions that based on this city platform. And just to finalize some takeaways and conclusions, that it is really important to cooperate between public administration and between cities. It is really important to collaboration between public and private domains in order to provide with services that are really more complex. Data is really valuable. So this valuable is able to provide cities with some kind of formula in order to try to become self-sustainable and maintain a smart infrastructure. Of course, you will be able to share some resources, expertise, use cases, lesson learned, obviously use of standards in order to cooperate between cities and be able to get the lesson learned from one city to the other. That is one situation that is in many of the cities, that they are working in the past in silos, in verticals, because the technology comes from different providers. So it's really important that with the city platform, it's a change in the organization in order to put some from silos to horizontal services. And at the end, I think that these smart city office are working in a multidisciplinary team. So I think that this is a good opportunity to have a change in the digital transformation of all the municipal services. And this is all. Thank you. Back to you. Bye.
Thank you, Ramon. Please, Michael, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Let me just get my presentation up and make sure that it's full screen. One moment. It always takes a bit of time. So the first thing to say is that that this is not my own work. I've had the privilege of learning from many very clever people in Working Group 3, and this is very much my opportunity to share with you the good thinking that they've had. So this is about, this is a deliverable which is almost ready for publication, which provides governance, provides guidance about what you need to do, how you need to do it, and what the process is best in order to be able to build and implement a smart city platform. And the reason, of course, why we're thinking about this is because increasingly in the city, all the many different systems that are going on, shopping, health, education, transport, utility use, communications, and so on, are all collecting valuable data to help with each one of these aspects of city life. And they're collecting it not just in individual systems, but there are many different agencies within each of these systems that are collecting data that they need. And it's increasingly obvious that these things are important, not just for those agencies, but to be able to share it across the city. And one of the key characteristics of a smart city is that it's one where all of that data that's being gathered in many different parts of the city can be brought together and used as a whole to give a holistic view of what's going on by the public administration, by business, and by the citizen to help the city work better. So this is the challenge that we've got and we're trying to address, is that we've got all these different agencies in the city collecting data, using it for many very specific application, and each application follows a similar process. In general, we can say it's collecting data, it's ingesting it, it's processing it in different ways to make it useful, it's storing it, it's sharing it so that you can start to link different data sets together to gain added insight, and then it's using it in various different focuses like smart parking, clean air, all kinds of things like that. So you've got all of these many different applications using data in being developed and used within many different systems in the city. And the challenge is that if we continue to do that, if each application is handled separately, then it becomes very complicated as more and more applications are put in place. And also it becomes much more difficult to combine the data from different applications to gain greater insights. And that's why cities need to develop integrated data platforms. So what an integrated data platform does is, instead of having lots of separate applications that you all try and you need to try and make interoperable together, instead it takes the common functionalities of those different applications and makes that into a platform to allow a solid foundation for many different solutions to be able to provide the focus of that solution, but also to be able to link together and provide greater insight. So in our report that we're almost finished now, we're looking at three things that cities need to get right: how to store and use the data effectively, what sort of architectures are needed, and how you can manage all the many key issues that you need to look at in a minimal but sufficient way. It covers the way you can store data, data warehouses, but increasingly people are having data lakes where data can be put in place in a way that makes it much easier to be able to identify new uses for that data. And more, there's a move towards data spaces internationally where you're able to actually federate a lot of that and take data from many different sources and combine it to provide real use and help in managing the city as a whole. And then, of course, the other key thing that all of us are looking at in cities is about local city urban digital twins, where what we're doing is providing a virtual representation of all the things in the city, not even just physical assets, but also the organizations and the different kinds of citizens in the city and how they live and fulfill their roles in the city. And by having a digital replication of all of those things, what we're able to do is to understand much better what's going on and be able to manage the city better. And so here are these two key things that we need to get right, and that's where a city platform can underpin things. And as Ramon said, what we're looking at is a layered approach. This is a very high level view of the kinds of layers that you need in the smart city platform to enable the data to be collected using APIs to be managed and then to be used in different ways within the city. And in the report, we're looking at a number of different architectures that based on this sort of a framework, which show how different cities are bringing all of these different layers together in order to be able to combine the data and gain the insight that they need from it. So the third key issue in what you need to be putting in place is the fact that in managing a local data ecosystem, there are many, many issues to be tackled. You need to look at managing personal data, data security, how to find the data you want, how to use analytics to analyze it effectively, how to make sure that any AI you use is providing fair and transparent results, geospatial data, how you manage physical assets using data, context data, many, many issues that need to be tackled. And for many cities, that's a lot, and a lot of very different kinds of things. And so what we need and what we're recommending in this report is, rather than try and get everything right before you start, so tackling many different issues in depth at the very beginning, is to see where can we find a minimal but sufficient level of interoperability in each of these issues, so that we don't wait until we've got everything perfect, but we can move forward by tackling all of these different issues together in a way that's good enough to help us get going and gaining the insights that we need. And so it talks about minimal interoperability mechanisms that we're working on with various cities to develop, which cover all of these different issues and provide cities with guidance as to what the minimal and sufficient set of requirements they can put in place to give them a really good start. As we come to an end, the report also provides some key principles or steps that are really helpful in a city as it starts to do this. It's not a quick and easy thing to put in place. It's a process, and what you need is a roadmap. You need to make sure that you've got a long-term vision of what you want to achieve, that you're bringing in place all the right partners and all the right capabilities, and you have a step-by-step process going through all of these different issues, starting small, but thinking big. It's a journey we're on. It's a fantastic work that the Working Group 3 has done already as part of this whole process. And we'd love you to continue to work with us to pull our learning together and provide the kind of tools that cities need. Thanks very much indeed.
Thank you very much, Michael. Very interesting. And now, please, Alberto. The floor is yours, Alberto.
Yes, thank you. Yes. Hello and good morning. First thing is, I would like to thank all the experts participating in Working Group 4 for the inputs in the discussion, as well as the feedback and the review provided during the development of this deliverable. Also, we would like to extend our gratitude to the contributing organizations along with the representatives, and especially a great thank you to Ramon Ferri as the leader of the U4SSCC thematic group on CD platforms. I'm trying to pass the presentation, but it's not. You see the screen, right? Hello?
It's not moving.
It's not moving. I don't know why it's not moving. Let me check this. Okay, yes. Well, the objective of the working group 4 has been to develop a document that gives a guidance to tourist destinations and responsibles on how technology in general and smart city platforms in particular help improve the management of a tourist sector, including the private companies, the destination management organizations, and of course, visitors and residents. The report provides some conclusions which are very much aligned with those presented a minute ago by Ramon Ferri, but also provide some interesting insights such as the importance of developing standards and norms, improving smart destination methodology framework, and also improving the governance of the sector through the creation of networks of destinations. We have chosen the tourist sector or tourism because it is one of the most important activity sectors worldwide. In economic terms, tourism and travel include approximately more than 10% of the global GDP. But and 1 out of every 4 jobs in the world. But if one includes the related activities such as commerce, local commerce, and transportation, it goes up to 25% of that GDP. And tourism is also a vector of social development and territorial cohesion. So it's a very important activity. With we started the work on this deliverable some 2 years ago, where the tourism has been extremely impacted by the COVID pandemics, and so. But our one of the main conclusions is with the increased frequency and the severity of crises of all sorts, the sector ability to cope with this crisis is critical to the economic development and sustainability of tourist destinations. And for that, technology contributes with the digital solutions to make those destinations more resilient. In those technological solutions are included prediction tools, blockchain, digital twins, artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, advanced digital applications, webs and bots, virtual and augmented reality, robotics, RPA, etc. And of course, smart city platforms. In the report, there is a definition of a tourist destination, and also a touristic destination is an ideal case for smart city platforms, because it is a complex environment in which private companies and public administration interact, and if well orchestrated, they are able to provide interesting and attractive services to those destinations, and that's enabled through smart city smart destination platforms. The report also describes the smart tourist destination framework, which is based on 5 pillars: governance, innovation, technology, sustainability, and accessibility, and which has, in the case of the Spanish destination framework, which is a good example, has currently more than 400 destinations, including destination management organizations, institutions, and collaborating members such as associations, businesses, and academic institutions. So it's these networks are a very good example in terms of governance, of sharing knowledge and good practices, and it's something that is recommended in the report. The report also details a portfolio of standards and norms, both at the national level, which have been developed or are in development phase, specifically not just for smart cities, but specifically for tourism or smart destinations, by the UNE, also by ISO and ITU. Some of these standards and norms are very relevant, for example, for the development of specific data models for tourism that can be included in smart destination platforms. Yes, a smart tourism destination platform is described in the report based on smart city platform models of layers, including different layers. The first one is information or data capture levels coming from sensors, beacons, actuators, or the IoT world, also from social networks, and also from a broad portfolio of different systems. The second layer is the data acquisition layer, data acquisition and also normalization of that data. The third one is the knowledge layer, where data is processed. Fourth one is the interoperability layer. And finally, so you see the smart destination platform uses the smart city platform model. The differences becomes in the tourist smart services, which are created or provided by the platform. Those smart tourist services use the capabilities of a smart city platform to be created or developed or integrated in that smart destination platform. And there are, in the report, there is a large portfolio of solutions that are very well described in 4 main groups, which are the management of tourism space. The second one is the interaction and promotional channels between the tourist and the destination. The third one is the group of applications and solutions geared at the development of a local touristic offer, and the answer to the demand management. And the fourth one is the group of solutions aim at developing competitive intelligence in the touristic sector or activity. And finally, the report includes various success cases in the different tourism segments. For example, you can see in the heritage or cultural touristic sector is Cáceres Smart Heritage. In the sun, we call it the sun and beach segment, there is the case of Las Palmas de Gran Canaria. In the museum or culture segment, the Vatican Museum case is included. For a sustainable tourism, we include the case of Valencia, and it's the project for decarbonizing tourism. And in the segment of sports, leisure, for example, like golf or nautical sports, etc., we include the case of La Nufia. And just to finish, this is a very complete report that, of course, we encourage. There is a period of comments open until the 4th of May, and we expect comments from you and from the experts in order to have the report finished by that date, and if possible, published in June. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And we look forward for those comments. So we have talked about many issues. I just wanted to recall that there was a previous episode 6 regarding smart city platforms, and there you have all the references to the ITU T recommendation Y.4200 and 4201, with all the technical details for smart city platforms and interoperability. And we have also noticed the importance of data. So I wanted to ask to Ramon what role those data and the data governance play in urban city platforms, please, very quickly.
Yeah, really very quickly. I think that a city platform is just to be here to manage the data infrastructure and spatial data infrastructure for a city. So this is the main issue. So data is the basis, the core of the urban data platform, and the only thing that we are doing is just to try all the data for the first time in a unique repository, and then be able to manage this data between different areas of the city, just trying to that this data goes through different services or different solutions, and be able to manage this data. I think that data is the core of the city platform. Thank you.
Thank you, Ramon. And what about the technical issues, Michael? What other technical issues on smart city architectures need to be covered in future work? What's your opinion?
So yes, indeed. So we've covered a lot of key issues, but all the time you're finding new technologies and new issues are coming up, and we need to make sure that as smart city platforms continue to develop, they're able to incorporate all of those. A couple of quick things. I think distributed ledger technology is actually going to be a very important part of managing cities, not only in terms of the individual aspects of cities, like who owns what and so on, but also even in terms of data, because a lot of data you need to make sure it's being used appropriately, the right people have access to it. So that needs to be really well thought about and incorporated properly, and I'm looking forward to doing more work on that. And then the other thing is the challenge of the geospatial world, which is becoming increasingly complex, and lots of very useful standards about city GML and so on that allow you to manage data from a geospatial context. And of course, pretty well everything in the city has a geospatial element. And that's a whole world of standards that needs to interact with the Fireware, NGS-ILD, and other kinds of data standards that have come looking at data more generally. And we need to find a way of making sure there's a seamless integration of these two different worlds of standards. Thanks.
Thank you, Michael. And for Alberto, do you see advances in the use of smart city platforms for the digitalization of tourism?
Yes, indeed. Of course, we are, well, some of you are aware that we have been, at the end of the day, a touristic destination, well, especially if it's a city, but also if it's a rural destination, or you know, it's a place where there's a lot of people living, and a lot of public services being provided. You know, that for some years we have been working here in Spain in programs of modernizing, digitalizing touristic cities, I would say, lots of them. So we have been incorporating the smart city platform as a key element for that smart management of that destination. We are advancing in that effort, basically developing or providing cities or destinations that don't have those city platforms, giving them access to those capabilities, and on the other hand, to those cities or destinations that have those platforms, trying to work with them in developing, I would call it the vertical of tourism, which is very broad and includes, as I said, many applications from you know, promotion or interaction with the tourist, or conservation of touristic assets, and also it's important to say that in the holistic management of a touristic destination, not just the touristic you know, aspects are managed, but also the city services such as mobility, or of course security, cleanliness, you know, sustainability, need to be integrated because they affect the tourist experience, the tourist journey, and the best way to integrate those services are through a smart city platform or smart destination platform. So we will be seeing that not just in Spain, but we're seeing that in Italy and many countries. Yes.
Thank you very much, Alberto. Yes, everything impacts in the city and has this effect. Well, we run out of time for more questions, and so I would like to thank all of you. I would like to thank the ITU for inviting me to this event, and for the commitment to the topic of smart and sustainable cities, and for laying the foundation to foster smart and sustainable city transitions. We are all united in our common vision to share knowledge and experiences to better facilitate smart and sustainable city transformation in line with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. And I would like also to take this opportunity to thank our speakers, magnificent speakers, for sharing their expertise with us and answering our participants' questions online also. And I think that this webinar has made it clear that successful digital and transformation must be accompanied by seamless digital integration of technologies predicated on smart city platforms. Because smart city platforms, by providing a central platform for managing data and facilitating communication across systems, are able to provide the means for boosting interoperability. So leveraging the big data pool in cities to improve delivery of urban services and meet the needs of the citizens, while ensuring a higher quality of life for citizens and for visitors as well. The United for Smart Sustainable Cities initiative, supported by 17 United Nations agencies and programs, will continue to work to foster global partnership and collaboration that aim to bring cities and key stakeholders together on topics relevant within the domain of smart and sustainable cities. So with that in mind, allow me to take also this opportunity to remind everyone that the U4SSC is a global platform that is open to all interested stakeholders. And the thematic group on city platforms is still open for participation, and it was mentioned. So currently, there are 3 active working groups, including number 3 on transitioning to a new architecture, and Working Group 4 on tourism, health, and resilience management from the perspective of a smart city platform, and Working Group 5 on reference framework for an integrated management of a smart, sustainable city. I want to extend this open invitation to everyone to join us in one of these working groups and contribute to the discussion on smart city platform at the global level. If you have any question regarding the webinar or the work of ITU on smart city platforms or the U4SSC, please feel free to reach out to us. The highlights of this webinar, including key recommendations along with all presentations delivered, will be made available on the ITU website. So with the hope that you will continue to stay connected with us on this topic, I would like to officially close this webinar for today. I wish you a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you.
Thank you, Tanya. Thank you to all our panelists and of course to all our participants for joining us today. So in case you would like to learn more about ITU's work on smart sustainable cities, please feel free to contact us. I sent our contact details via chat. And of course, we would like to take this opportunity to invite you all to our STI Forum side event on building people-oriented cities through digital transformation, which will take place on 6 May 2022. Once again, thank you and have a nice day.